Hi, so this is module 8, and in module 8, we are going to see how to fix an open source issue. And we will solve the issue that we had picked in the module 7. So, we will try to fix an issue today or tomorrow if possible, and then we will move ahead with the next modules in the series. Okay, so this was the issue that we had finalized yesterday, and so in this particular issue, there was a missing action field and in the response of LLM. So today we will be going through the reason why we are getting this particular error, and then we will go to the solution, like how to fix it and how we are going to proceed with the solution of it. Also, when we are done with the solution, we will test it locally and then we will raise a PR. So that PR we will raise it here, and after raising that PR, we will ping the maintainers that hey, I have raised a PR. Can you please look into it? So before raising a PR, before moving ahead, let me see one more thing. This is an issue, and there are many comments here. Okay, so this is the founder, I guess, or from the founding team. So it's a good issue, and also you can see here he's sharing the evaluation results. So here are the so one good thing about this project is that the maintainer or the founding team is pretty much active. So because they are active, we will not face the problem of not getting the reviews. So let's move back to our own issue and okay. So now you can see one more thing I always do whenever I fix an issue or try or contribute to open source. I always have a doc like this. So here I mention the issues to work on. Also, sometimes I write like this PRs I have raised. So this kind of doc helped me to track my progress and how am I working. So and also here you can see in the issues to work on, I have mentioned this issue. So if there are multiple issues, then I will list all of these here. So, okay. So let's go to our previous chat. Yesterday, if you didn't watch the last video, then I would highly recommend you to watch it because this one will not make much sense to you if you don't know the context of this video. So please watch the last one if you didn't, and then come back to this one. So let's move to our the chat of the last video. So in the last video, this was our chat, and we try to like understand the architecture, the issue, and all of that. So in this particular video, we are going to fix it. So probably let's open the new chat itself. Okay, let's see. uh okay, so this is our chat. That's the reason I use cursor. This is the chat debugging missing action field. So we did a kind of research yesterday on that particular issue. So we will try to read that again, and we will try to see, okay, what was the error and what would be the solution. So the issue was in the schema optimization and validation flow when using a DeepSeek, where the issue occurs. So this was the root cause of that issue. Schema optimizer dot make strict compatible. So this was the method that was enforcing the strict schema, but the LLM, the DeepSeek model, is not generating that schema, that response that is compatible with that schema. So it is generating a response like this one, and it is missing this action field. Also, cursor is basically mentioning there are some potential fixes. So the first can be add explicit validation and retry logic in the DeepSeek chat handler to detect missing action and retry with a clearer prompt. The second one is enhance the schema description for the action field to make it more explicit. And the third one is to add a fallback that provides a default action or prompts the model again and when action is missing. Okay, so first let's move to this file where this particular issue is occurring. So it's occurring on line number 172. So here is that line, and Here you can see they are, uh, here is the output format dot model validate. Here the validation is happening, and fix only use model validate when output format is not none. Also, one more thing, initially, it can be, as a new contributor, it can be a bit overwhelming to keep everything in your mind, because obviously, when you will try to grasp everything here, or we will read everything, then it's normal to get overwhelmed and not being able to make sense of whatever is written here, because we can keep only a limited things in our mind. So, what I mostly do is I create a not the doc. I create an issues similar to this one. So here I write the problem. Okay. And now you can see the problem here is, okay. So the problem is this method basically sets all properties as required. So this is the method that we are using in schema.py and in line 146. So here you can see this is make strict compatible method, and it is setting every property as a required property. So wait a second. So what we do is first we have to write a problem statement. So we can write a problem statement, or we can just write the root cause, because that's the same. Again, that's, it's not any sort of formal thing. It's not something that you have to publish somewhere. So keep this thing as a ad hoc, and also, like, in short, you don't have to write a whole notes here, because that would take a lot of time and it would waste a lot of time as well. So just write the problem. So the problem here is that the action field is, so let me just write. So action field is required by make strict compatible method. So I can just copy this thing and paste this thing. Also, like, if you are able to, this thing is optional. If you like comfortable with solving the traditional way, then you can do it, but I prefer it making a doc at the same time while solving it, so that it gives me a more gives me more context, and I am able to solve it like in a better manner. Okay, so the issue was action field is required by this method, but DeepSeek model response is not including the action property or key. Okay, so this is the problem that we are currently facing. And from here, what I mostly prefer, or my personal favorite technique to solve problems, is to basically ask questions to yourself. So, because that's the only way to boil down a problem into smaller pieces, or to basically the root cause, and from there on, we will build a solution. So here is the problem that we already that we like recognized. So this is the problem, and here are the why, like why this happening. So may not enforce require fields, and so let's see what can be the solutions of this particular problem. So one way can be, like, we can add explicit validation and retry logic in the DeepSeek chat handler to detect missing action and retry with a clearer prompt. Okay, so this is of the first solution that this cursor is suggesting us. And one more thing you can do, and I always do, so open ChatGPT here. So once you open it, so open your ChatGPT, and here we will ask some questions. And because, see, sometimes this is on auto mode, so sometimes the response of cursor and the response of ChatGPT differs a lot, and sometimes ChatGPT provide a better response. I mostly use ChatGPT. There are people who prefer cloud code, so that's totally okay. One more thing that we need to do is to, like, recreate this error so that we can see where that problem is occurring. So let's see the steps to reproduce, and only then we will be able to see how to see this bug in action. So run failing Python code. Uh, Action field miss in the response of LLM. History step content. So here it's saying to like run failing Python code. So where do we have to run it? That is the first concern. Okay, let's see in this database if it contains any failing Python code. No, it doesn't contain any of this file. So my question is like how to reproduce. So I will write it down here so that I don't forget how to reproduce this error. That is the most important part of when fixing a bug, because the first thing you should always do is to just reproduce that bug so that you can just see that okay, where's that error is basically occurring. And sometimes what happens is that like the bug is happening on someone else's machine but not on ours. So sometimes it may be a machine issue as well, like because of different operating systems and configurations, but this issue is not related to that. I'm sure. Okay, so what we can do is we can copy this whole thing and we can go to our cursor, we can paste it and we can give it a prompt. How can we reproduce this error? Okay, so and once we click OK, cursor will map out a plan for us, like how can we reproduce that error on our own setup. Okay, so cursor has created a response. So here's how we can reproduce this error. We can create a test script to reproduce this, and this script can be like this. And here we will have to add our API key for DeepSeek model. So and here is that script that we will need to run. Also you can see here it will get the schema that would be sent to the LLM, and it will check if action is in the required fields. Also it will check if action property exists or not. So here we will have to basically replace these dummy keys with our own DeepSeek model keys, API keys. So the schema and okay, and then basically we will have to run this particular uh, test script. Okay, so because it's pretty obvious that we just have to write this script, so what we can do is we can switch from cursor agent mode and we can just write it. Create this script for me. Again, we will not post this script to the pull request. It is just for the testing. So that's why we don't need to write it manually line by line. We can just ask cursor to do so. And once that script is written, we will need to find our API keys. So we will need to find using our open router API key, I guess. So yeah, in the yesterday video, we had created this API key. So if you don't have API key for your DeepSeek model, like for the testing, then please create a key. Okay, so here you can see it is providing us the script, and so let's first add our API keys. Uh, okay, dot get env. So I will just need to copy my key here, and here I will. Mostly we use a env file, but here just for the sake of testing, I will be adding it as it is. I will not use an env here. Also, let's go to more places where we have to add an API key. So here we let's here we have added that as well. And okay, so we have to add it on line number 126, and let's check it from first occurrence. Okay, so we have already added our API key here, and after that, okay, so we have added it here as well. So now it is providing us a command that we can run again. We if we want to just learn go through all of that, how this script will run, how this will happen, then you can do it manually as well, but probably save your time in manual things that doesn't bring much of a learning. So here we will learn change the permission of this file of this script, and uh, okay, so now we need to run this script. So this is the command to run this uv run test. Okay, I hope it is working. Okay, so this is the command uv run test deepseek action bug.py. So once we run it, it will start giving us some results. Okay, so let's run it and see whether it's working or not. So it is trying to create an env, and then it will run some install some dependencies. That's okay. Okay, so it is done running the script, and here is the output that we can see. So there is a test one checking schema configuration. So required fields are thinking, evaluation, previous goal, memory, next goal, and action. And available properties are thinking, evaluation, previous goal, memory, next goal, and action. Type field found in schema. So these are the field that are found, and action is marked as required in schema. Okay. Here is the second testing agent with DeepSeek, and here is a simple task. So here we can see it is starting the agent, and it is navigating to example.conf, and the model is DeepSeek chat. Temperature is set to 0.3. Okay, and what we have to do here, and here I can see the step one is basically failed because authentication fails. Your API key is invalid, and the step two, the API key invalid. And so basically the currently we are facing the error that our API key of our DeepSeek model is invalid. So agent completed without errors. No, 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 not errors. So here is it is showing success, and this is the AI slope basically. Even though it is not a success, it is printing success. So we don't have to fall for it. So let's see the error once again, or basically the issue once again, so that we can check. Okay, so they are using this particular task. They are using this task to perform, and we are using a different task. So let's see what kind of task are we using. Task. Okay, so our task is to navigate to https example.com. So it was doing it perfectly. So I don't know what it is written. Okay, so what we can do is we can convert this to like English. convert this to English. Okay. Okay. So this is basically a summarization task. So this means basically summarize and this HTML file. So basically the user or this contributor is giving the model this file. You can see here it's the address of his local setup or local machine, users lyssgai and calculator.html, and it is asking the agent to summarize this particular html file. So this is the task that it is performing. Okay, so that is why it is requiring an action field, because that action field in most probably will be responsible for the action to take. So, okay. So let's design our own task like that. So what we can do here, we can change the task to change the task from navigating to summarize a dummy, a demo basically, a demo file, and what we can do is and provide the parameters like this, like the guy who has raised the issue, and provide the parameters like this. Okay, so here what we are trying to see, we are trying to create an exactly the same issue that that guy has raised, so that we can see what is the problem that guy was facing and that this particular issue is about. So, and here we can see like our current task, that is navigate to example.com, is not same as what this guy has explained here. Like it is a different one. So we will use the same example so that we can get the same error related to the action field. Also, till the cursor is generating the response, we will go back to our browser and we will click on open router to get our API key. And here are our API keys. So we can go to overview, I guess, and we can create simply one more API key. And here we can use browser use, and we can create this key and we can copy it. And after that, we will okay, so here we will need to change our API key once again. So okay, so we will not delete this API key. What we can do is we can create one more API key variable here, and then we can paste our current one and we can comment this one out, the first one. So let's go to the one more. We had one more variable API key. So here we will comment this out as well. Then we will write API key, and here we will paste it. And okay, so that's done. We have a new API key here, and also we will need to see the code. OpenAI compatible apps, or here is the code that we can use. Okay, so cursor is basically dumb enough to not change this in my own context, but I will tell cursor. Okay, so add a dummy file in my own the let me check the folder. So let me browser use. So add a dummy file in my own browser use uh, directory and use it in the task. Name it. Also, we can ask it to name it uh, poem.html. HTML, or we can give txt as well, I guess. Let's give it HTML itself, containing a basic poem. Okay. So now the cursor will create an HTML file basically, and it will pass it to our script for the sake of testing. Okay. So cursor has created a poem.html file, and here we can see, we can first of all accept all the changes, and here we can go to poem.file here, and but it is still passing it as a like this Chinese or Korean language. I don't know if this will work or not, but let's see. Let's see if it will work in this using this Chinese language, or sorry, Korean, whatever it is. So let's run uv run this file. So it has opened this tab here, and so again we are getting the same error, that is your API is invalid, and here is an authentication error. So it is navigating to, okay, the task is again the same, is navigation. So what we need to do is basically we have to summarize this one, and first of all we need to fix this issue that is related to API key. So here what we can do is is invalid. So let's check our API keys first. So here we can ask the cursor itself. In this, why are we getting this error? That is basically authentication failed because of invalid API error, while the API key is correct. So here we will switch to ask mode so that it doesn't implement anything. And let's say what it says. Okay. So the problem is it's an open router key, not particularly a DeepSeek API key, but while it is accepting a DeepSeek API key only. So, so that is why DeepSeek rejects the open router key, causing 401. And so there are two options. First is we can use open router. I recommend it if you want to keep this key, and we will use chat open router with the DeepSeek model instead of chat DeepSeek. So currently we are using this DeepSeek code, or basically the utility or library provided by DeepSeek itself. So that is why this is not accepting this API that we are providing, because that's from a different provider, that is open router. So here that is the first option. We can change this DeepSeek to open router, and let's go to the second one. We can get a direct DeepSeek API key. If you want to use DeepSeek directly, then you can go get a DeepSeek API key from here. Okay, so let's try to get an DeepSeek API key itself, because that's what the this contributor has used to create this issue. So let's log into DeepSeek. Hope they don't spy on me. Okay, so here are API keys, and we can create a new API key, and we will give it the same name, that is a browser use. So we will create the API key and we will copy this, and after that we will go to our code base, and here we will move to our API, and here we are going to use our DeepSeek API key, not the open router. So we will cut it and then we will paste it. Okay. So after that we will change it to other place as well. So go to API, and that was the last one. This was the API key that we have to change. So we will delete this one and add a new one. Okay. So now let's run the script again and see the results. So here we can see it is running poem.html. Okay. And here we are getting the different errors. So, okay. So here we are getting insufficient balance. Okay. So probably DeepSeek API key is not free, is listed below, and once do not share your API key. So I don't know if they provide some free credits or not. Uh, okay, so we will need to make the payment basically is for the API. So that is the pain point of making contributions in AI projects, because they require at some point they require you to like either have own credits, free credits, or just subscribe to like the credits so that you can test those locally. Now I'm trying to see if we have a free option available or not. If don't, then we will try to make a payment and get some credits to test this thing. Okay, so we have paid here. We have paid around $2, and so let's see now. Do we have the credits or not? Like, I don't know why am I not able to see the credits here. I on usage. Okay, so here is my top up balance. So probably it will show the usage. So let's run that script once again, and let's see our results. So when I run it, it should okay, this is opening the file, and here we will be able to see whether that error is basically the action related error is occurring or not. That's the sole purpose of running this script. Okay, so it has created the response, and so let's see the response. So it try to evaluate this thing, and the memory is this. I don't know what is written in this, but it is going to poem.html, and it is blocking navigation to disallowed URL. Okay, so this cannot go to this URL. There is a value error related to this actual handler, and okay, so I was unable to complete your request to navigate to the local file and summarize it. So, and the final result is this: I was unable to complete your request. So this is coming from the DeepSeek LLM, and its interface information. What happened? Okay, so this is the current status, and the problem is we are not able to see here the response. So we should we are not able to see the error that this contributor has mentioned. So here we can see the error is this: validation error for agent output, action field required, but we are not able to see this. So in this case, what we will do is we can take some screenshots, and we will post it for that contributor so that they can clarify whether this error actually exists or not. So what we can do is we can wait a second. So let's check once again whether we are correctly using the script or not. So the task is basically this file, and it is giving this file, and it is saying to summarize this file. Okay, so first let's see what are the actions that we are performing. So it is testing is it to this one, and here is the test agent original, and here is the task, and we need to pass it. So what I'm trying to find is whether this script is okay. So let's do one thing. Instead of running all of this, why not just copy this code itself? Okay, and we can use this code instead of like, see, currently I'm not getting the action related error. So in this particular script that we have written, so what we can do is we can exactly copy this script that the contributor has mentioned, and we can try to uh, get the error. So here let's switch to agent mode. We will paste the script, use this script in place of current one, and change the task and API key as per the current one, as per the current script. Okay. So what it will do is it will change two parameters, that is just task and API key, and everything will be like as per this script that this contributor has mentioned, and we will try to see whether we are getting the same error or not, because in this script, the current one, we are not getting any of the errors that this guy has mentioned. Okay, so we have this new script, and here we can see a file, and it is okay. So let's try to run this, and let's see the results if we are able to get. Okay, so it is navigating to API key is invalid. Again, we are getting the invalid API key. Okay, so uh oh okay, can we just okay. So because we have not written our API key anywhere, so we need to like get our API key first of all. That is most important. So where was that? Okay, so here it is. First we eh, okay, let's undo all of the changes first. Go to uh go to API. So we need to copy this API, and let's write it down here safely so that it doesn't get deleted. Also, we will not be able to get the API key once again. We will have to generate a new API if we lost this one. So now let's make the changes. Keep all. So, okay. Okay. So what we can instruct the cursor, make the changes again. Okay, so what we can do is we can simply run this prompt once again, this one, and it will run this, and it will kind of make the script as it was before. Okay, so now we have a new script as per the this contributor, and also it has the correct API key, I guess. Okay, so now let's okay. Okay, so let's clear it up and try to run the script once again. and let's see if it's throwing the action error, or basically the error same as this one. So here again we are trying to navigate. So I don't think so we have to navigate somewhere, because it is just a uh okay, so there is, I don't know why it is trying to like navigate to some other file. Okay. I guess it is trying to like uh not navigate, but huh, trying to access the file, and this is the file that we have. So, so probably instead of we can copy its path, that is so where does poem.html exist? It exists in do we have a way to copy this path? Okay, so here we are getting this error, and let's try to understand using cursor itself. Okay, so this is the final result. I don't know. We have to like we want this result or not, but definitely we are not facing the error that this issue that this contributor has mentioned here. So one more thing that we can do is we can just copy this whole error. Wait a second. Okay, so we can copy this. Where is the uh okay, so we can just copy from here, and we can just paste in cursor, and we can say why am I, wait a second, why am I getting this error? Okay, so and we will change it to ask mode so that it doesn't implement anything. So also one more thing, it is giving a final result. So this is the final result. So we can just copy this result, and see what does it say in English. What does it mean in English? Also, one more thing, like you don't need to contribute to an like such issue, because just because I have picked this one, so that's why I'm trying to uh, fix this. Otherwise, you don't need to like you don't need to particularly fix an issue that are in other languages. Like you can obviously, but not initially. So the it is saying that sorry, I couldn't complete your request. Reason for task failure is that policy browser do not allow to access local file system. Okay, and okay, so here it is trying to run it, but basically my system is not allowing it to open the local file in the browser. So also, so here what we can do is, as we are not able to see the error that that guy has tried to mention, so we will copy the our response from here. Okay, let's go to one by one. Okay, where we were. Okay, so from here we can copy our inputs and sorry outputs, and we will paste these outputs to that particular issue. So let me just copy this one, and after that this one, and let's take a final snapshot. Okay, so we have taken three screenshots of the outputs that we have got by trying to reproduce this particular error. So we will paste those screenshots here. Let me go to recent. So these are those screenshots. one more. Okay, so we can do all of those. Okay, and here we can write, we can mention that guy, whatever his name. Hey, I have tried to reproduce the error that you are encountering and that you are encountering, but I was I was not able to see that error that you mentioned. Basically, you mentioned basically in your case, the error was that DeepSeek model is not the response of the DeepSeek model. Basically, the that the response of the DeepSeek model is not returning action property, is not returning the action property while it is required by the schema, by the defining, by the schema itself. Okay, by the schema. So here I am attaching the outputs of my observation. Okay, please feel free to correct me if I missed something. Okay, so here let's go to preview, and these are the screenshots that we have like collected and we are posting here. So once again, let's repeat. Hey, I have tried to reproduce the error that you are encountering, but I was not able to see that error that you have mentioned. Basically, in your case, the error was that the response of DeepSeek model is not a returning action property while it is required by the schema. Here I am attaching the outputs of my observation. So please feel free to correct me if I missed something. And here I will write thanks. Okay, and we will basically post this comment. Now this user, or basically this contributor, will look at this these inputs, or sorry, outputs, and he will give us some insights. Okay, this is something that you might have missed. And so once I got the inputs from that contributors, then I will have a more context. I will have more context. I will understand properly. Okay, this was the error, and probably I need to look into this particular thing. So that was all in this video. We will see the next implementation. We will start from here in the next module. So take care. Bye.